they are sorry about what is happening. Some of them can even go to the extent of patting your shoulders. But in some cultures, oh, don't worry, everything will be fine. Oh, we'll be fine. We keep saying that. Some of those are not necessary, guys. Sometimes you can say, let's see what happens. It's a very good way to go about it. Say, let's hope for the best. Let's hope for the best. Those are some words that you can use. And you are not going to change the subject. The patient is talking about how big the boyfriend is. Don't change it. Stay with the how big the boyfriend is. Don't go and change that particular thing that they are talking about. And don't change the subject. And sometimes unnecessary high accent. Say, dog, Charlie, I don't know, but look, I don't know what to say, but I think I love you. So this one like this that the patient said it, what will be your response? You're going to ask the patient why. I know by default, women would like to understand why. What is making you for women, they would like to know, but I mean, it may not be necessary. And then sometimes too, the whys are quite judgmental. Why will you do such a thing? Are you crazy? Maybe crazy you will not say, but why would you do such a thing? It's hitting the patient too hard. No, don't go with that. So, well, things do happen. Yeah, people do things. I understand. I can imagine. Yeah, you just say it in that regard, but be very careful. And don't really say that's good or you shouldn't or that's bad. No. The patient was saying he was not able to do. So guess what? You know what I did? I locked my husband out from the room and I was able to sleep so well. Then, because your husband was misbehaving and you didn't even sack him from the room, you sacked him from the family house. And your husband is now wandering somewhere in Mali, seeking to do some boy job. So when he said that, I said, good, that's a very good one. You see, yeah, you don't go that tangent. Yeah. All right. We are still on the therapeutic. Like for those going to write the NCLEX, what you should understand is that patient says, I want to die. You are to ask, tell me more about how you are feeling. It's a feeling. There's something that is making him feel like he should die. Don't say you have so much to live for. No, that will be more of kind of giving indirectly some rationales, reframing things to make it as if this is what. So if the patient asks you, what do I have to live for? And you are not very good in giving your examples well, and the patient is smart enough to, excuse my language, kibosh whatever you said, then he still has a reason to die. There was this incident of these characters, Santo and Judas, and I think Judas wanted to end his life, and so he decided to write a letter. And his mode of killing himself was by, what was the name? Strangulation. How do you call it? What's your come for, bro? From me, obviously suicide.
Hanging.
What is the name?
Hanging.
Hanging. Yeah, he
By
wanted
hanging.
himself. And so he writes in some few lines, I don't kill myself. My wife kills me. So there was a reviewer which was Bob Santo. He picks the letter and said, this is the reason why you want to die. Then the guy said yes. Judas said yes. He said, okay. Well, obrofo kura chese okondo wampa. Also, woni de also obrofo nyekura. You see, don't say those. A scenario, patient is crying silently. Sit down. Sometimes you can even offer tissues. It's appropriate. It's therapeutic when you offer those tissues. And then in breaking the silence, you can let the patient know that you're actually there with him or her to help them. It's not like my mom is a typical Ashanti woman who can just listen to a brief, she just needs a brief summary of the dead person. That's all she needs. When are we? And yeah, like my mom will ask, who is dead? Then they will say, oh, isn't not this man who just married recently with the twin? Then she begins. I mean, that story is just enough